Please stop. Are you going to focus on war? Taking land, economically outdoing each other, cultural discussions at this very moment, as if the world and your country will still last forever. In 2025, it was far too cold in June in my country, with pouring rain showers and difficult harvests. In Spain, it was extremely warm in the spring, and in the fall, there was again an extreme amount of rainwater in one day with flooding. These are just examples from close by. Do you take the risk and say this is fake news and just carry on as normal? The earth is visibly derailing everywhere, and yet we continue to drive like a Formula One pilot at 300 an hour on the public road, and still think that everything will end well. In the newspaper of May 30, 2023, I read that in 2090, 1/3 of the Earth's inhabitants will live in an uninhabitable place. No food to grow, no drink. In short, move or die. But where to? That means we will be fighting for the livable places. You don't want that for your children, or their children, and worse. You don't dare to look your children in the eye anymore if you could have done something about it. And if reincarnation does exist, then you wouldn't wish this on yourself. That CO2 has to come down quickly, because if I understand correctly, above a certain level of CO2, everything will automatically continue to warm up to 6 degrees. Above a certain temperature, the sea will release all its CO2 into the atmosphere, instead of swallowing CO2 for us as it does now. And when the white ice caps start to melt, they can no longer reflect the sun. Then that becomes a mutually reinforcing process. Then you can no longer stop it. So that unlivable situation will be certainly for everyone. It will be certainly for everyone. So it is thoroughly getting started now and focus all attention on it, or not start. And before everybody gets on my case about my appeal that I interfere in their lives and that I am a vinegar pisser, I also like to fly to nice destinations. I really like to eat meat. I like to light a fire and so on. There's nothing wrong with that in its own, but the reality is unfortunately different. That CO2 has to come down quickly. What is my question? Every inhabitant of the earth reduces his CO2 within 3 months by 30% and within 3 years by 50%. During those 3 years, you do not look at your neighbor, because now everyone is waiting for everyone. If not enough people participate within 3 years, then you can consume a lot of CO2. Then it is no longer possible to stop it, because the CO2 emissions must be at zero in 2050. A small CO2 reduction is of no use. The CO2 emissions of the Earth are only at zero if everyone is at zero. If everyone's CO2 is at zero. So if it does not work, then we can start having one big last farewell meal with airplane trips and meat bacchanal, car rides to the corner of the street, etc. at will. Then everything will eventually heat up automatically. But the first 3 years, get started without looking around you. That first rapid reduction will not be possible with technical interventions. That can mainly be done with changes in behavior and organization of your life. So make an action plan immediately, where you choose where you can quickly reduce CO2. There are enough sustainability websites and employees to give you correct ideas. To motivate you and show each other that you are participating, hang a homemade poster on your window. What is the purpose of this approach? With a rapid decrease to 50%, we gain time for much needed technical solutions to have a chance to make it and to be able to live a pleasant enough life. The last percent decrease to zero will be extremely difficult, just as cleaning or renovating the last percent in your house often does not even work. That is why I also call on all scientists and companies and organizations to take this as the main goal within their activities, like in the corona times, and to devote all their energy to finding solutions for CO2 capture and storage, good CO2-free energy generation and energy savings, energy efficient products and logistics, solutions for batteries, and so on. If you can invent AI, if you can detect black holes, if you can fly to Mars, then this should also be possible. This is also a call to politicians to direct all their focus to plan the economic changes in public transport and coordinate the whole thing so that not everyone is out of work and therefore rebels, or that everyone is looking for solutions with the same limited energy sources or materials like hydrogen or lithium. And so we also have an idea of how much CO2-free energy is available per person. We will make it together or we will not make it. Rich people, you are also in a submarine. Going to live on Mars? Even if you succeed, I wish you a pleasant life there without your five-star restaurants. I fear that you and your children are also inhabitants of the Earth. And the CO2 emission is only at zero when that of everyone and all countries is at zero. So the CO2 of poor people and countries is also your problem. Sweeping in front of your own door does not yield anything. So invest all your money in climate solutions for everyone and find out how you can stop or change your CO2 guzzling activities, even if it costs you money. My call is also to war makers to stop all their activities and instead to focus on CO2 reductions. We cannot have any extra CO2 emissions now due to destructions that also require extra CO2 to rebuild everything later. And the question is also what you can gain with that now. Maybe some extra land for 200 years? If we do not make it, the entire Earth will become quite uninhabitable. So any conquest now is very short-lived and worthless. If we have made it, you can always start over if you really think it is necessary. And for those who think, yes, but we in Belgium can't bring that CO2 to zero alone. Certainly. The call has been translated and recorded in English, French, Spanish, Chinese, Russian, and Classic Arabic. And there are many migrants living in our country. So this is also a call to all migrants in our country. Ensure the distribution in your country and our survival here on Earth. Sorry, but I have to add something extra because the situation is getting worse in the world every day. So I think maybe it's too late. But then maybe you can realize now what I mean. If you have seen images of God, at the start of people who are desperate and they're trying to get food, and people are throwing food at them. And then you think of the people of Israel, how they have to make themselves like some inhuman, or I don't know, they have to make themselves very hard inside to do these things and say these are not people. So if we let the situation on Earth get so bad, then we all have to choose this. Oh, you are there, starving. You're gonna make yourself hard. So I hope you can find a way, or you can see that this might be another solution that you can work with me.